In this video, we're going to go through some of the new things that came out as part of Power BI's January 2026 update, including things like more ways to reset your visuals, custom markers for Azure Map, and the new PBIR rollout. All of that and more, so without further ado, let's jump in. So let's start by covering the Q&A feature, which is set to be deprecated at the end of this year. This was the feature that allowed you to ask questions about your data in sort of a more natural language before Copilot and ChatGPT became a thing. And I've never really had any meaningful success with this feature. To use this, unlike LLMs, you had to set up a bunch of things like synonyms, teaching the Q&A with questions, and setting up terminologies. It was an interesting feature when it came out at that time, which, as I said, was something that I covered almost 5 years ago now. But to be honest, compared to the current offerings now with the AI chat prompts like ChatGPT or Copilot, the amount of setup that it requires compared to its counterparts with the LLMs like the ChatGPT or Copilot is just not really comparable in terms of the actual results and value that you get out of it. So I'm not really surprised that it's getting deprecated. So if you're still using this feature, you might want to consider moving to Copilot, and you've got a full year to kind of do that migration plan. Another feature that's being deprecated, SSRS Viewer Web Part. This is being deprecated in April this year, and SSRS is sort of the predecessor to Power BI. And to be clear, SSRS is not being deprecated, although development on it has kind of stopped since last year. It's just the web part feature of SSRS that lets you view SSRS reports within SharePoint sites. That being said though, if you're still using SSRS in 2026, you might want to look into moving into the Power BI report server, which is kind of like the SSRS equivalent, but modernized towards the kind of Power BI platform. And it looks and feels exactly the same as SSRS. So if you're still using this SSRS viewer web part, you might want to consider moving or stop using it before it gets deprecated in April. You can now choose if your hierarchy persists when you move in between field parameters in Power BI. Now, field parameters is a feature that allows you to dynamically change measures and dimensions in your reports. They made an update to this feature last year, specifically on the behavior of matrix visuals persisting their hierarchy level when you switch between field parameters. It seems that from this rollout, it's kind of gotten a mixed feedback. So as part of this month's updates, they've added a new way for you to toggle between those two different behaviors. You can find this in the report settings where you can toggle this feature on or off. Based on this, the matrix visuals will either stay expanded when you switch or collapsed. The format pane also received some improvements this month. First is the color picker, which seems kind of tiny, but it's actually kind of my favorite. This now gives you a no-fill option, which kind of already exists in Power BI, but there was no way to select it from the color picker. Previously, you had to resort to using DAX tricks to create a transparent color or selecting no color in general, but now this won't be the case since you will have the ability to choose no fill instead. Next is the resets to default, which is handy if you want to reset colors to fall back on the report theme instead. Speaking of the resets to default option, there are now multiple ways that you can reset your visual settings from the format pane in varying scope. Now you can reset all settings to default, reset group settings, and reset this group's settings. The naming of these can be a little bit confusing and it can use a little bit of an improvement, but let's have a look at an example so that you can understand what these scopes mean. First, the reset all simply resets all settings. The reset group settings, the one that you're familiar with, resets the settings for this section. So in this case, the bars. And then the reset this group settings resets the group inside this section. So in this example, this reset will only work in the border inside the bar section. I can see this useful for complex visuals like buttons where you have to manage complex button states. And this way it will just make it a little bit easier for you to control or update those buttons. Custom markers are now available on the Azure Map visual. This allows you to add custom images as markers on your maps. And not only that, you can also control these images dynamically. So in this example, you can see different emojis, which are presumably based on rules set on the data like population, density, or sales. This gives users even more flexibility in showing and highlighting data in map. I can see a ton of potential with this feature, especially when combined with SVG, if it even supports SVG in the first place. So I'm gonna have to test it out in a future video myself to see how far I can take this new custom marker feature. Modern Visual Tooltips is now in GA and includes a few enhancements. Drill actions are now available on the tooltips, which previously were only available when you right-click on visual. You can toggle this option though if you want this or not. Tooltips also automatically match your report theme colors. You can still customize these manually, but this addition just makes it a little bit more intuitive. The Grow to Fit feature, released last October, made sure that your tables and matrix columns expand dynamically to fill in the whole width of the visual, instead of the size being based on the size of its contents. Now, these features and options are still there this month, but the default behavior has been reverted. So the column sizes will now be defined by the size of the contents by default, as it was before, unless the resize behavior is set to grow to fit. Personally, I have no preference in either options, and in fact, I actually prefer to disable the auto width fit so that I can manually adjust the size, the individual sizes of my columns in my tables. Editing semantic models in the service can now be done on models configured with incremental refresh. PBIR will be the new default report file format from March this year. It looks like the plan is to switch to using PBIR as the default file format before it becomes generally available. To be honest, the sequence of events here is a little bit unusual, at least from my experience, because generally preview features are not really recommended by the Power BI team to be used for kind of production deployments, and you generally wait for it to be GA in order to be absolutely sure that it will be okay for you to use in production. But in the PBIR's case, it seems to be the opposite. They want this preview feature to be the default and only way for you to save your report file formats, and once everyone is using that new format, for it to be made generally available. For now on though, they recommend transitioning into using the PBIR formats ahead of the Q3 GA kind of planned release for this feature. And those were my highlights for this month's update. If you want to read the full blog post of the January 2026 update for Power BI, I'll leave a link to it in the description box below.